Welcome to the very first episode of Raised by Boomers, the political therapy session for Gen Xers who were handed a participation trophy in economic recession and a copy of Schoolhouse Rock and told it all made sense. I'm Will, your host, your fellow latchkey kid, your grunge era guide through the beautiful disaster that is American politics. In this podcast, it's for those of us who know what it means to grow up watching the Cold War end, the Berlin Wall fall, and still get blamed for not owning a house in 2025. Here on Raised by Boomers, we're not here to whine, not here to rage. We're here to reckon with what we were told, what actually happened, and how we're supposed to navigate the absurdity of it all with a straight face and a half-charged iPhone. We'll pick apart the political landscape from a Gen X perspective. Media lies we swallowed, leaders we regret, culture wars we didn't start, and the policies that forgot we existed. So whether you're politically homeless, ideologically squatting, or just tuning in because you missed the sound of a tube TV powering on, welcome, you're home. All right, let's get into it. You ever wonder how much your worldview is hand-me-down through Reaganomics and Saturday morning cartoons? We were taught to salute the flag, work hard, trust the system, but they forgot to mention that trickle-down would dry up around the time we got our first real job. Boomers came of age during protests, we came of age during processed cheese, 24 hours of news, and debt. That shapes you. You hear a politician talk about hard work and grit today, and you feel the static in your head. That's cognitive dissonance, with a side of student loans. The political values we were handed weren't made for this economy, this climate, or this algorithm. So let's call it what it is. We got fed a lot of good slogans and not a lot of solid outcomes. Let's talk demographics. Boomers, they vote. Millennials, they mobilize. Gen Z, they post. Gen X, we vote when we remember. It's partly why politicians don't chase us. We're not loud, we're not loyal, and we're not easy to herd. But here's the thing, we're still here, holding up families, paying taxes, running businesses, and silently judging TikTok from across the room. Politically, we're the middle children of America. And like any good middle child, we know how to survive without being seen. That also means our economic anxiety, our cultural skepticism, and our historical memory gets left out of the conversation. And if you leave Gen X out long enough, we start writing podcasts. Raise your hand if you remember when the news ended with, "And that's the way it is." Now, the news ends when your battery dies, or you finally throw the phone across the room. We were raised by the television. Literally, we saw wars broadcast live. We watched politicians fall in real time. We knew the difference between fact and propaganda because it switched channels every 5 minutes. But media changed. What used to inform now performs. The algorithms don't care what you believe. They care what you click. And so here we are, tired, skeptical, but sharp as ever, watching a screen, seeing it all come back around, whispering to ourselves, "We've seen this episode before." So what did we inherit? We inherited optimism with a shelf life, patriotism with disclaimers, and economics that only works if you were born before 1979 here. We inherited phrases like work hard and it'll pay off, said it many a times. America's the land of opportunity. Same, and damn it, freedom isn't free. But do you ever notice the bill for all that freedom tends to show up on our generation's desk? Here's the thing, we're not victims, we're witnesses, and we've got good memory. If you were offended, confused, or just mildly entertained, congratulations. You're exactly who this show is for. Subscribe, rate it, or send us a fax if your machine still works. This is Raised by Boomers. I'm Will, and remind you, Gen X never asked for this, but we've got notes.